everyone. Welcome to episode number 1 of the Depths podcast. My name is Bethany, and I'm so excited to get started here because this is my very first episode of something that I've been wanting to start for a really long time. And to be honest with you, this is a little bit nerve-wracking as I am going to be filming these episodes and putting them on my YouTube channel as well. So if you don't know that about me, I do have a YouTube channel that I've been doing for about 4 years. And so this is definitely a little bit of a new venture for me. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit excited, mostly excited. Please give me a little grace as I start this. I know it's going to be totally different. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because I'm going to be talking about some things that I'm really excited about. But yeah, welcome. And let's just be honest here. This is a space where we're going to be talking about things that I feel like truly matter and I feel like that are a little bit more intentional. And a lot of people have been asking me, why start a podcast? Why not just continue doing YouTube videos like you've been doing? Because for me, I know that doing YouTube isn't going to be forever for me. I know that I want to continue to do something like this, but I know that keeping up the demand of making YouTube videos and making these projects twice a week, every week is just too much sometimes. And it can truly bring me to a point of burnout. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to make my life a lot simpler. I'm trying to make my life a little bit more streamlined where I can still be an effective wife and mother and person. And I'm not stressed out and just filling my balloon up to the point where I'm about to burst. So that's where this podcast has come in for me. This is kind of a new step that I'm excited to start because I know that I can do this long term and it makes me really excited. So obviously this first episode, I'm by myself. I'm not interviewing someone because that is probably going to be the main focus of this podcast is me talking with other women, talking about other topics. And I'm really excited about that. That's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I know that not every single episode will have a guest, but majority of these episodes will. So you can really look forward to some great guests that I already have lined up where we're going to be talking about some really, really great things. And yeah, I hope you guys all feel really encouraged and just can relate to some of the things that we're going to be talking about here on this podcast. So with this first episode, I'm going to be talking about when less becomes more. I've talked about this on my YouTube channel a little bit, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into what this kind of looks like. I've been reading this book, which is titled When Less Becomes More by Emily Ley. This has been a huge game changer for me, not just as a mom, but as someone who has a hobby that is a lot of work and has become a little bit more than just something that I do for fun, which has been amazing, but it also can create a lot of stress in my life. And so for me, I want to just create an environment that is less stressful. And so that I can be a happier person full of more joy and just more contentment with my life. And I don't have to fill it with all of these things to feel like I'm being accomplished or that I am accomplished, because I'm finding that being still and not being busy has made me so much more joyful and happy and less stressed. And I'm really excited to share what I've been learning today. So I kind of feel like in society, being busy is seen as being accomplished. And that when we ask someone, how are you doing? It's like, oh, good, but busy. I'm busy. I have so much going on in my life. We can push ourselves so much, being so busy and filling our lives with so much that we can get so stressed and so burnt out that we feel like we can't do it anymore. And we're not feeling that joy within us that really propels us forward into being excited about things. Even our days can feel like they're dragging on. We just want it to be over. And I feel like I'm kind of wanting to move away from those sort of feelings. And I'm trying to implement certain things in my life that can make me feel like I am more joyful in the moment and during the day and just overall less stressed. I truly believe that our lives aren't meant to be filled with so much. There's a great analogy in this book that Emily makes, and we're basically these balloons. And as life goes on, we fill it with more things. good things for sure. Like, I'm not saying that any of these things are bad, but when we fill them with too many good things and we're so busy, the balloon just keeps expanding and expanding, and we don't have any more room to put any more good things in there. And we just eventually burst and we burn out and we just feel depressed and we can't handle things anymore. And I have felt this numerous times when I feel like everything is getting a bit too much because I've added too much to my balloon. And that's what I'm trying to get away from. I'm trying to be able to take some of the good things out of my life. And I know that as life goes on, life is going to become busier as my children get older and things like that. But I can choose to not put them in every single activity. I can choose to not commit myself to certain events or certain engagements. I can say no. And I think that's also a big thing that comes with this, is that being able to say no is huge, because you're basically saying, like, I'm going to take care of myself before taking care of everyone else. Yes, we have responsibilities. I understand that we all need to follow through with those, especially being a parent, a wife, a person. If you have a job, things like that. There's some things that obviously shouldn't be taken out of your balloon because they're necessities. But I'm just saying, all the extra stuff. Why put your kid in 4 different activities? Why not just pick one thing that they're really excited to do, and then you can have a bit more time, free time to spend with them, instead of, driving them to all these activities all the time. I'm just thinking for the future for myself here. And I think that we weren't made to be living at full capacity every single day of our lives. I think there's time where we need to rest. And one thing that I've been learning is that self-care isn't actually selfish. And I know as a mother, we can immediately feel guilty about taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves first, because we're fed that, the kids come first, you take care of their needs. And you know what? Absolutely. Take care of your children. Absolutely. But I'm saying that when it comes to taking care of yourself, don't sacrifice your well-being so that you can basically just take care of everyone else. Because if your cup isn't full, how are you supposed to pour yourself into everyone else? It just doesn't work. And that basically creates burnout. And I know for a mom, I have dealt with this. And so I'm trying to, in the rhythms of my life, take time to find true soul rest, if that makes sense. Yes, taking a bath is great. Getting a manicure, yes, take care of yourself, make yourself feel good, absolutely. But I think that there's things that we need to find that we truly love doing that brings us soul rest. And that can include, for myself, is gardening. I love to get in the dirt and just make my gardens look pretty and nice, and have beautiful flowers in my garden. And for me, that's a form of soul rest for me. I don't really have to think about too much. I can just focus on the garden, and then afterward I just feel rejuvenated. If it's painting for you, reading, exercising, things like that, those are amazing things, and you need to take time for those things. And I always thought in the back of my head, what if I make my life less busy? I know that may seem like I'm being lazy by not filling it with things. And I think that can be kind of a misconception too. And I think for mothers, we especially struggle with this, because especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't want to feel like, oh, I'm at home all day, I'm just taking care of the children. I don't want to seem like I'm lazy. And you're anything but lazy. Taking care of the needs of little humans is exhausting. It's a lot of work, but we can find joy in that, and knowing that that is an amazing work that we're doing, and that it is absolutely essential to the well-being of our children, to our families, and it is not an easy task. And I think that we are our worst enemies. I know that for myself. I'm really hard on myself, especially. And even the days where I don't do much, like getting things done, being productive, I know that I can definitely fall into those traps of feeling like, what did I do today other than take care of my kids? Like, I feel like it was a waste of a day, which is an absolute lie. That's not true at all. And I know this in the moment, but I cannot shake those feelings some days, because I just, I look at the house and it's a mess, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get anything done on my to-do list. Like, I'm just taking care of my kids. But I think we have to realize that taking care of our kids is a lot. And you know what? If we're taking care of them and they're doing well, then that's a huge accomplishment. And good for you, mom, because when every day feels like the same and you're taking care of your kids all the time, and possibly if you're a working mom too, we all have those feelings of mom guilt when we try to take care of ourselves or we don't feel accomplished because we're not doing enough. I want you to know that you don't need to feel that way. Because we're all doing our best here. And at the end of the day, we all love our kids exactly the same. We're all incredibly capable of being those bright balloons filled with joy, no matter what your age, no matter what stage of life you're in. I think that eliminating things that we can maybe let go of, maybe that means less screen time, less social media, maybe saying no to an engagement with a friend because it may feel like too much that day, that's okay. And I think even for me, I've said no to certain things when I don't want to say no because I really want to do those things. But it's really, really important for me to realize that might make my day feel like it's a little bit too much to handle. It's hard. I know finding the balance between everything is almost impossible, and I'm still figuring this out. I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to do more reading because that brings me a lot of rest. I love learning new things. And I think that this podcast is a great spot for me to kind of share those thoughts and those things that I'm learning with all of you that I can feel like can bring some benefits to your life, maybe gain some new perspective. Like I said before, I'm hoping to get a lot of great guests on here on my podcast because I find that other people's perspectives can be so enriching, and especially if you're kind of sick and tired of listening to me all the time. So I think for each episode of these podcasts, they're not going to be too long. They're not going to be too short, but they're going to give you enough time for you to possibly do it while you're doing the dishes, while you're on your way to work, because I know as a person, a mom, someone who does not have a ton of free time during her day, a podcast can be a great tool to listen, gain some new perspective when you're doing those things. And I don't want it to be too long, so you don't have to sit for an hour and listen to me talk. But I am so incredibly thankful to all of you who have encouraged me to continue with this idea, and also to push me forward into actually starting. So anyways, those are just some of my thoughts that I've been going through recently. I've been really learning what it means to just take things slower, to, not make my schedule as full, and saying no to things. And I found that I am doing the best that I have ever been doing. I feel so much more free. And I hope that you're able to say no to some things in your life too, to maybe feel like you're a little bit less stressed, because we all know that none of us can do it all. But yeah, I hope that you feel like you're not alone in feeling like the expectations of our culture that puts upon moms is too much. You're not alone. We all feel it. We all feel like no one can do it all. And it's the truth. We say yes to what we say yes to, but we also have the choice to say no. I think that's where I'm going to leave today's podcast on that note. I know it wasn't too long, but I think that next time I will be having a guest here with me, and I'm really, really excited about that, to hopefully be talking about some great topics. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this. Again, this is my first episode, so there's going to be some growing pains with this. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm really, really excited to continue with this and to move forward with, making my life a little bit simpler and hopefully finding some new perspective and encouragement. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in my next one.